built back in 1962, the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course has been a fixture in this region's motorsports landscape for over 50 years. This weekend will they not only host the NTT IndyCar Series, but also the drivers in the USF Pro Championships, the future stars of the top level of American motorsports. This weekend getting ready to get underway. We've already had a lot of sessions here throughout Thursday and early here on Friday with practice, but it is time to go racing. USF Juniors and USF2000 will put their first race in the books in today, this afternoon, in fantastic weather. Joining me right now, two drivers from D-Force Racing. We'll start with Thomas Nordquist, USF Juniors driver, ready for that breakout weekend. Thomas, how's it gone so far, your track sessions?
They've gone pretty good, been top 10, so feeling pretty good. Pace seems to be there, just working on dialing in the car and getting ready for the race.
You know, I look back to when we were here in June, Mid-Ohio, for just USF Juniors only. You had a good weekend there. You were showing the flashes of speed. Do you feel coming back here for the second time you're even more ready now to go after that first top 10?
Yeah, definitely. I feel a lot more comfortable with the track, with the car. Got to experience 2000s last 2 weeks ago in Road America, so, you know, it kind of feels like it slows down the juniors car a bit, but yeah, I mean, feel good.
Let's dive into that a little bit. You ran at Road America, like you said, in the 2000 car. That transition back and forth. What was it like getting back into the car on Thursday testing?
Definitely slowed it down. Felt a lot more comfortable, you know, really pushing the car, getting to its limits, and it's paying off.
It's going to be interesting. All weekend long, we'll have the NTT IndyCar Series here putting that rubber down, the next cars as well. You got a taste of IndyCar rubber when we were at Barber back in April. What do you think about a full weekend with the rubber changing the whole time?
You know, it's definitely going to be a challenge, and we'll just have to see how it holds up, how the tires go, and, you know, see where the grip happens.
Like I said, Thomas Nordquist here, very quick throughout the season, getting better and better as a rookie driver. Let's bring in Joshua Leonel here as well. He's not a rookie. Been in the Skip Barber program before, USF Juniors. Joshua, a podium at St. Petersburg early in the season. What do you got to do here this weekend to get back there?
I'm looking for a top 10, so I want to be in top 10, top 5. That's the goal. We're pushing as hard as we can. This last test, too, went well, P6. So we're pushing as hard as we can. This track is absolutely amazing. Like, we're pushing, we're dancing, and we're pushing as hard as we can to get a good result this weekend. And if we can get a podium, I'm going to go for it and give it absolutely everything.
It's obviously a really unique racetrack. It's not similar to some of the tracks we've been on before. Definitely different than Road America. Not those long straightaways, a lot more undulations here. Is it a track that suits your style?
Yeah, these high-flowing tracks like Road America, like you said, and this track, this finesse with the wheel. You can't be like moving the wheel around too much, and I guess it suits my driving style. I'm very smooth with the wheel. Some drivers are more aggressive, and I think in the low-speed corners you can be more aggressive, but and high speed seems to suit me a bit more.
One of the key things always about this racetrack here is qualifying. It's tougher to pass here than a Road America. You don't have those long straightaways. What do you got to do to get that one fast lap, right? To extract that one fast lap to the up front. What's it take in these cars?
So you need a good outlap. You got to push the tire as hard as you can, get it up to temp. I think that's the main struggle I've been facing this season is just get it up to temp as fast as possible. And once you do got that opportunity to put in a good lap, you got to do it. And that's the goal. So give it everything.
Both Joshua and Thomas going to be trying to get that qualifying session done that they need. They want to be up front. This is a tough place to pass on. As I have said before, you've got to get it done in qualifying. You want to qualify up front, and again, these have lots of races throughout the weekend. 3 on the weekend here for Joshua, 2 for Thomas here in USF Juniors. Folks, let's have a look at this racetrack. One of the toughest on the circuit, the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Welcome to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, one of the most challenging and technical road courses in North America. Located in the heart of Ohio, this 2.258-mile, 13-turn layout demands precision and bravery from every driver. The race begins on the front stretch, heading under the bridge into the fast turn 1, a left-hand corner where rolling speed is critical. From there, drivers quickly make their way up to the keyhole, a sweeping off-camber, downhill right that leads down the longest straightaway to turn 4, the best overtaking opportunity on the track. This sharp right is followed by a long left that crests the hill, leading down into a series of tight, twisty corners, the S's, turns 6 through 8, which require precise braking, throttle control, and car positioning. Drivers then navigate the blind turn 9 to drop into the fast Thunder Valley, and climb up through turn 10, a quick blind left at the crest of the hill. The final section of the track is a series of technical turns, including the fast turn 11 and the turn 12 carousel, where drivers accelerate back onto the front stretch. With its combination of tight corners, elevation changes, and complex challenges, Mid-Ohio demands precision and focus from every driver.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Oh, yes, the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, one of the most challenging circuits the drivers will tackle here in the 2025 season. We've got a bunch of races for you here on the docket, 7 in total through a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. It's been a busy morning. Those of you who are trackside have got a taste of everything we have to offer here in the USF Pro Championship, presented by Continental Tire, USF Juniors, USF2000, and USF Pro 2000, all rolling through official morning practice. They've got their qualifying sessions done. 2 more races on the dance card here for today, as the drivers in USF Juniors set to roll out here for a 20-lapper. We'll follow the victory lane celebrations there with USF 2000. Of course, 2 races next day on Saturday for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. Drivers have not yet rolled themselves onto the pit lane. They're still over in the pre-grid, but that'll give us an opportunity to go through this field right now before I welcome in my booth partner here, Mr. John Phippen. Let's have a look at the field right now. 20 drivers set to go in USF Juniors tail of the field. 2 of our 3 young ladies in the field. Starting 20th for Zanella Racing, Maddie Colleran in the number 29 out of Ohio. She has been so impressive, getting quicker and quicker throughout the season, starting at the tail of the field, and has been gaining experience every time that she has taken a green flag. Alongside her, Emma Scarborough from Sonoya, Georgia for Inter MS in the number 26. Emma coming through a number of years in top national level karting, looking for some speed here in that Inter MS machine. She'll start 19th and will be ready to race her way forward. Moving now into row number 9 on the outside, Patricio Gonzalez for D-Force Racing. Patricio currently sitting 9th place in points. Not the qualifying effort that D-Force Racing driver would have liked, but the number 15 will start in 18th alongside one of our feel-good stories here this weekend, J.T. Hoskins in the number 9 out of Sarasota, Florida. A really rough accident at Road America, coming through the contact with both sides of the wall. Obviously, get to have him back here cleared to race is super exciting. It was very quick yesterday. Actually ends up 17th in qualifying. Wait for JT to get rolling here in the number 9, try to work his way forward. Row number 8 on the outside, a driver making his debut here this weekend, British Formula 4 pilot Chase Fernandez from Manchester, England for J. Howard Driver Development. Has been getting his seat time here at Mid-Ohio. Not a track, very easy to learn on the fly. Had not tested here coming in like the remainder of the field did on numerous occasions. So learning the racetrack, learning the car. Now he's got to learn the competitors around him. Chase Fernandez in the 5 going to start on the outside of row number 8, 16th alongside Michael Succo from Birmingham, Alabama for Inter MS in the number 25. Field now rolling their way out onto pit lane. We'll move up another row to row number 7. Hudson Potter in the number 25 going to start on the outside of that row. It's a P14 starting spot for Potter in that number 25 machine out of Lexington, Kentucky. Alongside him will be Kaylee Countryman, the other of the 3 young ladies we have in the field right now. Solid qualifying effort for Kaylee. She was in the top 10 all day yesterday. Didn't quite extract all the speed out of the car in qualifying, but still the exclusive Autosport driver rolling off from 13th. Good start there inside of row 7. Row number 6, we'll have the driver from Finland, Vilo Atala for D-Force Racing, and an all D-Force row number 6. Atala in the number 14 out of Sweden, as I said, comes in here to the weekend sitting 6th place in points and on a really good run. Very consistent, top 10s essentially all year long for Atala. He'll start 12th alongside Thomas Nordquist in the number 17 machine. Nordquist from Omaha, Nebraska, new to the sport. I expect this to be a kind of a breakout weekend for him, going for his best finish of the year. Nordquist starting in the 17th spot. Thomas joined us, as we know, with Joshua Leonel in the pre-race show earlier in the show here. Working our way now up into the top 10. Connor Aspley for Pole Position Motorsports from O'Fallon, Missouri, has really found the speed here as well, been getting better throughout the season. Single car effort for them. He'll start in 10th. Alongside him, starting in the 9th spot for Zanella Racing, that's Diego Guillat in the number 12. The Texan driver starting on the inside of row number 5, a P9 start there for Guillat. Up now to row number 4, a driver who has won here before, actually back in June in a wet weather race for USF Juniors on the IMSA weekend. Liam Loiacono for J. Howard Driver Development, a multi-time Australian Formula Ford champion. The rookie driver, the number 6, set to roll off here from 8th position outside of row number 4. And alongside him, best career starting spot for this young driver out of Illinois. That is Brendan Cooley for Exclusive Autosport in that number 92 machine. Cooley ready to get rolling here right now. Very impressive young driver so far. Looking for that big first weekend here as he, as I said, will roll off from the 7th position in the Innovel Global Logistics Exclusive Autosport machine. Moving now up into row number 3 on the outside, Matan Achatev for VRD Racing in the number 77. His best starting spot of the year as well. Achatev starting in the 6th spot. Alongside him, the other of the Gonzalez brothers, Rodrigo Gonzalez in the number 18 for D-Force Racing. From Mexico in the 5th position, Gonzalez also 7th place in points, so he's going to keep pushing to try to get himself into the top 5. Row 2 now. Now we're starting to get into the guys here really battling for a championship right now. Joao Vergara, 2 wins on the season, 1 coming here back in June in the dry weather race. The VRD Racing pilot set to go off here from 4th position in the number 10. Watch for Vergara to be aggressive early. And alongside him, his teammate at VRD, Oliver Weldon, last year's Skip Barber Formula Race Series champion. He has been stellar on the year so far. All but 1 race of the 8 in the top 3 on the podium, 11th. The only finish, not even that bad of a finish at Barber Motorsports Park. He'll start on the inside of row 3, but the front row is going to be all Zanella Racing. And in fact, they set 1st and 2nd in points. The driver on the outside of the front row in the number 55 at the 125.093 in qualifying, Leonardo Scorpioni. Your point leader right now, 3 wins on the season, all but 1 finish on the podium, 20th in the 3rd race at NOLA Motorsports Park. But this young driver here, just 14 years of age, Ty Fisher at a White Rock, British Columbia, Canada, top kart racer around North America in the last couple of years. That number 37 machine starting on the pole position. Fisher 3rd place in points, 2 wins on the season, coming off a rough 16th place finish at Mid-Ohio in that wet weather race as he got stranded on the warm-up lap. But he's looking to make amends for that right now. He'll start on pole position as these drivers' engines started. We'll be heading out on track again. Let's quickly bring in my broadcast partner here today, the voice of Mid-Ohio, Mr. John Phippen.
Hi, Rob.
Great to have you here.
Happy Canada Day.
I appreciate that. Happy 4th of July to you, those around the racetrack, and the rest of the people watching, of course, on the USF Pro Championship broadcast.
Absolutely. And we have more than a few Canadian fans here this weekend as well. So happy Canada Day to all of you as we send out our first race of the day. Hard to believe. It's 1 o'clock on Friday, and we're racing already. So that's a great thing. As these juniors, like you said, have been here twice already this season. A lot of testing, a lot of other running here as well. But 2 races, Vergara taking the first one, Loiacono taking the second one. And so look for those 2 drivers to see if they can capitalize on that experience earlier on this year.
John, in the pre-race show, we had a chance to have a look at the racetrack and kind of detail this fantastic track, 2.258 miles, 13 corners, the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. So while they're on the warm-up lap, it's a shorter one here at this track. Let's have a look again at the top 5 in points. Leonardo Scorpioni with 188 points coming in, just the 1 race outside off the podium. Same goes for the driver behind him, Oliver Weldon, 181 points, just 7 points separate those 2 drivers. Ty Fisher with his 2 victories, 169 points, only 4 points behind him. Joao Vergara, 2 victories for him as well. And then Liam Loiacono back by another little bit there in that 5th position. So those drivers, throw Vilo Attila in there as well. Your primary championship contenders with 8 races still to go. Scorpioni and Weldon, though, have been super strong. Fisher's right in the fight. Again, we wonder because Weldon's been super fast. He was quick yesterday in both sessions in the test session. Is this the breakout weekend where Oliver Weldon gets his first USF Juniors victory?
Yeah, following in his older brother's footsteps, Sebastian obviously with great success in these series. And so Oliver looking to make his mark in this championship, and he's only 7 points out of the lead of the championship. Lots of racing left to go. 2 rounds here, then a triple header at Road America, and another triple header at Portland to round out the season. So it is still very much anybody's ball game, as the Scorpione with the good, he and Weldon both with such great consistency throughout the course of the season, staying in those podium positions. Weldon's still looking for his first victory. It might come here.
Field lined up and ready to go. Who will come away with a 20-lapper to start off a 7-race weekend for the USF Pro Championships? Drivers onto the front straightaway. Green flag flying. We're underway. Green, green, green. And they'll power their way down under the bridge into turn number 1. Field looking good so far. We know that turn 1 can be precarious. It was definitely in the wet. We were back here in June, but the drivers navigating that corner so far nicely. The big run up the hill, climbing up into the downhill right-hand keyhole corner, one of the most iconic corners in, obviously, American motorsports, coming down the hill there, off camber. Key part of the racetrack, onto the power as you roll your way back down the straightaway. A long run from turn number 2 through the kink, turn 3, down into the newly reshaped turn number 4. In our first of 2 races back in June, these drivers here in USF Juniors went green to checker, and getting through this opening corner is going to be clear. Down here, thinking 3 wide further back, big move down to the bottom of the racetrack. Do they give themselves room? They do. Good looking stuff so far. A couple drivers off the track. That change, though, over by China Beach means you're able to get off there without as much damage. Brought the car back on. So instead of the car sliding off, John, like we've seen many times before, you're able to control it without having that big lip there, coming back on the other side. That just paid off right there for 2 drivers that could have been in the gravel, ended up being able to get back onto the racetrack.
Yeah, and we stay green, and that's exactly what we want to see, but a little bit of a stretch now as Ty Fisher and a Scorpione going after it at the front. Weldon right there as well as they're into the carousel for the first time at speed.
This is a track where qualifying well certainly pays off. If you can get out front and get working together, it's going to pay off for you. They come across start finishes for the first time. It is Fisher as the leader. A Scorpione runs in second. Weldon in third. Vergara up to fourth. Gonzalez fifth. Loiacono sixth. Giat, Attila, Cooley, and Hudson Potter. Hudson Potter, a good start. Started 14th. He's up into the top 10 right now, so +4 for Hudson Potter. -2 for Brendan Cooley. Started in 7th, ends up in 9th at the end of the first lap. But the bottom line is everybody's kind of settled into it now. A little more action further back. You can see that they're going inside, outside, coming into the braking zone of turn 2, the right-hand keyhole. And we saw some great racing in that June race, battling for 14th, for 16th, for 18th. They were just scrapping each other. And one of the things, John, we'd say about this particular series, it's all about development. This is them coming out of karting, maybe into one of the Formula Car series or schools. This is them learning how to go wheel to wheel in cars, not karts, a very different animal. And we want to see them going wheel to wheel. I don't care if you're running for 4th or 1st or 18th. If you're going wheel to wheel with somebody, that's the experience we want from them. We want them to be able to go wheel to wheel. I don't care where it is in the field.
Yeah, situational awareness is what it's all about, is these drivers learning where the corners of the car are and giving a room to their fellow competitors. Clean but fair. That's what we're looking for as they come into the carousel once again.
Well, the big interesting thing about moving from karts to cars, of course, is the braking, number 1, the aerodynamics. But also, when you sit in a go-kart, you're literally kind of sitting over top of the rear axle.
Yeah.
In these cars here, you got like another 6 or 7 feet behind you. You have to realize when you're making a move across somebody, as we're 3 wide coming up the straightaway here, that you have to understand that if you come across the bow, there's all that race car behind you. Drivers are doing a great job further back coming through. One driver has lost a wing, and that is the number 5 of Chase Fernandez, the driver from the British Formula 4 Series, who was a winner earlier this year at Donington Park, coming to join us here this weekend. An inauspicious beginning for sure, knocking the front wing off the machine. The Jay Howard crew very likely will get a new front wing put on that, try to get him back out onto the racetrack. He just needs seat time here, knowing that he's got another race tomorrow as well. We saw some great battling further back in the pack. Fisher, Scorpione, Weldon, Vergara, and Gonzalez is your top 5. Gonzalez actually getting challenged by Liam Loiacono further back as well. 20 laps will be the duration. Oh, there's contact further back there. One driver off into the gravel. He got contact from behind. That may bring out a full course. He's going to try to get it out, but as we know, when you get into the gravel like that, the minute you stand on the gas, sorry folks, no treaded tires there.
You're going to bury it.
Yeah, so there's a possibility, an issue there to pick up that car. That's one of the Inter MS machines. I think looks like the 25 of Hudson Potter, we think, off. Yeah, full course yellow caution is out. Contact between a couple of drivers there. Potter was running 12th across the line. I didn't quite see which the other driver was involved there. That's Potter, who's off to the left side. Yeah, hard to pick up that car to find out which one it actually is, but 2 drivers off. Potter's the car to the left. We'll see when they come back around, folks. They're going to come down the order here. Oh, it's Kaylee Countryman. Kaylee Countryman is the driver who's gone off as well on the number 90 machine. There was contact as they came into the corner there. So both those drivers will fall to the tail of the field. That's going to move Connor Aspley up into 12th, Hoskins to 13th, Scarborough to 14th, Suko goes up to 15th, Nordquist to 16th, Maddie Colleran to 17th. Chase Fernandez back out on the racetrack. And so the Potter Countryman contact over in turn number 4 ends this one early. Yeah, disappointing for those drivers. We expected hopefully to be able to go green to checker again, but it looks like they were just getting a little too over aggressive.
Kaylee had a great qualifying performance starting inside of row 7. So as we have a replay coming here, as Kaylee had a great qualifying performance and was looking for a good weekend here.
Yeah, indeed. Kaylee's coming in. Her best qualifying before that was, I believe, 17th. So 13th for her, moving up the order very nicely. Yesterday she was in the top 10 for both of the test sessions. So yeah. I think expectations were high, but contact happening down over there on the entry to turn number 4. Again, it's a corner where you have to give each other room. And if you're on the outside, well, I briefly looked at it. Obviously, when we saw it, it was hard to actually see what happened. All right, let's have a look, folks. If you're at home or if you're here at the track, look at the big screens here. We'll give you a look at the replay of the incident between Kaylee Countryman and Hudson Potter down in turn number 4. Here's a good shot at it here. Countryman on the outside, Potter on the inside. Yeah, that's left front to right rear contact there coming through the corner. Whether or not Countryman came down on him or Potter 100% wasn't in there yet. Here's another shot from another angle. Yeah, Kaylee's just into the corner and she's starting the turn in. And it was left front to right rear contact. And again, that's an age-old incident in racing. Yep. You tuck a nose to the inside, maybe didn't quite have enough. And most race directors will tell you, left front to right rear, it's the overtaking driver who has the responsibility to make the cut happen. I had a chance to sit in on our drivers meeting earlier. It was yesterday, actually, John, with Joel Miller, who is our race director, and he said that, listen, guys, remember this. The overtaking driver has the responsibility coming into a corner. You have to get it done correctly. Potter was down the inside. If it's left front to right rear, it's going to go on the driver behind for sure.
Yeah,
tough
absolutely.
one. So, re-rack them. And our first yellow flag of the weekend here, coming 2 laps into this one. Second time rather down into turn number 4. The drivers up front were able to get away with it. Ty Fisher and Leonardo Scorpioni, the 2 Zanella Racing pilots, out front. Zanella Racing leading the team championship points as well over VRD. They have about a 17-point lead there. D-Force Racing not that far back either. But Ty Fisher and Leonardo Scorpioni up front. And it's the 2 VRD drivers, Oliver Weldon and Joao Vergara. Rodrigo Gonzalez sits in 5th, Liam Loy Aquino in 6th, Diego Guillo in 7th, Vito Attila in 8th, Brendan Cooley 9th, and Matan Achatov rounding out the top 10. Back through the incident scene once again, the AMR IndyCar safety team doing their best, number 1, to get Kaylee back out, because if there's no damage to either of these cars, they want to get them to continue. They're not going to pick them up on a hook. If we can refire these drivers and get them back on track, they'll do it. They've got the quick jacks out there. That looks like Potter's. Is that Potter? No, that's.
Yeah, I think that's Potter.
That looks like Potter's car potentially on the hook. That might be, it might be the damage there to the left front. Oh, yeah, here's Countryman's in here. So Kaylee's brought it into pit lane. That is indeed the car of Countryman. Team, not surprising, going to look in the rear of the race car. They're going to look both ways. They're going to look for the stability on the rear wing. A good check over for Countryman. She's back on track. So again, she's going to be down a lap or 2.
Yeah,
she's going back out.
Yep.
Is she going to race for position? No. But seat time. That's what these teams, these families pay for. They want their driver to get as much seat time as possible. So early in their racing journeys. Kaylee, of course, as we said, back into pit lane and underway. Hudson Potter, though, with damage. And that doesn't surprise me either. You're sticking your nose in there and very likely the left front suspension taking a beating there. We'll probably get a look at it when they bring the car down pit lane here for you. We'll try to give you a shot of it. or at least give you the explanation from what we can see. We are high atop the tower here at start finish. John's office for a couple years.
Yeah, just a couple. Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have some stuff hanging up in here. Like, maybe a couple portraits or something here. At least have a better chair. That stool looks like I think you've had that stool for 15 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's my home.
Indeed it is.
Yeah, so. But glad to welcome you into it.
I remember coming back here in the days in the 2000s. We were here for what was the Z-Tech series back then, the F2000 Z-Tech series, and the SCCA runoffs, and so many great races have been here. You've called so many of them, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Being told both drivers are okay. That's one thing. We obviously know that Kaylee's fine. She's back on track, but even with the contact for Hudson Potter, he's all right. So that's a very positive update there from race control.
Yeah, here comes Kaylee pedaling fast to try to catch up to the back of the pack before we go green. So,
indeed, on the throttle here. You see the field coming down through the incident scene now, which has been cleared up. Shout out to the AMR IndyCar safety team again. We actually had a little party for them, little appreciation party at Road America. They're such a big part of what we do. And to be able to be here at these IndyCar weekends and be able to have access to them, and when we bring a number of their people to our standalone events for USF Juniors as well, they help, of course, with the incident cleanup, and they know the cars, they know the people. Again, just thrilled to have any kind of association with the AMR IndyCar safety team. The absolute best in the business for sure. Yeah,
and so many of them based in the Indianapolis area. Indeed. So it's not a huge trip for them over here to Mid-Ohio. It's about a 3-hour drive. So,
checking out the pace car here. I think we're probably going to go back to green flag racing, indeed.
Sure looks like it. Yeah, he's pulling away from the field. Lights are out, turning the field over to our leader, Ty Fisher, as he will bring him around. Little gamesmanship goes on at this stage
right.
On the restarts, of course.
Gail Triss, our pace car driver, bringing that Honda Type R Civic into pit lane. And good start there for Ty Fisher. Nice jump. Let's see if Weldon's got anything here for a Scorpione about getting the draft coming through the corner. Everybody lining up. A little bit of aero wash through that corner. Very quick corner here, although they're not fully up to speed, having just gone off the throttle coming out of the carousel. So maybe a little bit lower on the pace. Look at the big run to the left side of the racetrack. A full racing line for Ty Fisher. As everybody else, single file, stacking them and packing them through the keyhole here. There's a great shot of the downhill part of this racetrack. Such a crucial corner to get on the power correctly. You don't want to drive it in too hard, to diamond the corner and have the thing have some mid-corner understeer. If you drive it in too hard, John, you got so much wheel in it, you got to wait to get back on the throttle. And the only way to make a straightaway longer is not going deeper into the braking zone. It's getting on the throttle earlier. It's so crucial for these drivers to understand that.
Best battle is the one for second.
I think we got to pass for third, actually, John. I think Vergara was able to get by Weldon. Yeah,
exactly right.
And there's Giat as well, looking to the inside of Loy Aquino coming down into turn 6. That's a tough pace to make a pass. You've almost got to get that pass done coming down the hill. You're not really going to dive bomb to the inside of turn 6. So that driver's already turned in and committed to come across the bow from left to right. You just can't throw it down the bottom there.
Ty Fisher looking for some redemption here. He did not have a great second race here last month when we were here with the IMSA weekend. So he's looking to get some redemption here, and he's doing a great job of it. Well out in front now. And he's just got to keep hitting his marks and hope the guys behind don't gang up on him.
Well, you think about it, too, for Joao Vergara, right? He's back there 4th place in points. He is 19 points behind, or rather more than 19 points behind the lead right now, 23 points behind Scorpione. He knows, number one, he's got to finish in front of his teammate. Number two, you got to try to get the guy in front of him. Now he's going to go to work on a Scorpione. I always say that when you're in a championship fight, as long as you beat the guy in P1, it's a success on the race, right? You're always making up points. So the bottom line is here, they're going to try to see if they can't get around a Scorpione. And I talked to Joao at the end of the weekend in June. And I said, hey, how excited are you to come back now that we've run here this weekend? You got your first race win. He says, I know that VRD has great cars here. I feel really confident coming into that weekend. So indeed, he's showing that right now, putting the pressure here on a Scorpione.
Great three-ride racing down into the reprofile turn 4. As they line back up, line astern, climbing the hill up over 5 and back down the hill toward turn 6. And we've got another caution.
Another caution out here early. That green to checker we had not going to happen here again. So driver's an issue here. We'll find out what it is right now. Sounds like full course yellow. We've got a driver who is high centered in turn number 1. Sounds like the 17 of Thomas Nordquist. That driver I was looking for a breakthrough weekend. And listen, turn one's so easy to get through there, get off the racetrack, and potentially loop it around. So we're going to see them when they come back through. I can't see it here from our spot in the tower, but you're going to get this when we get the camera shot coming through turn number 1, and then, of course, the shot from 2 back down to 1.
We saw throughout practice and qualifying a number of drivers dropping a wheel off at the outside of turn 1. That's very easy to do.
It is.
It is the highest speed turn on the racetrack, and it could be he just got a little too far over the Gators' teeth.
We'll get a good look at it likely here when they come get another camera shot. Now, too far away on that one. He's actually, it looks like he's maybe come to the inside or the outside of the racetrack to a certain extent, coming from driver's right to left.
He's on driver's left,
So drop the wheel very likely. The car spins around, starts going in that counterclockwise spin. That's happened many times. Luckily, he didn't come all the way across and get into the wall on the left side of the racetrack. But high centered over there, Thomas Nordquist will go down a lap here now as he'll try to get things fired back up. So Fisher able to defend, not even really defend. He's got a really good jump and was able to run the full racing line over the opening lap. Scorpione is a driver that initially I thought was going to have to defend from Weldon, but it was Vergara who took full advantage of that, was able to get by his teammate Weldon. So movers on that lap had Vergara by Weldon. Loiacono gets by Gonzalez. So Liam Loiacono now up to 5th spot. Gonzalez goes back to 6th. Vilo Atala gets by Giat, so he goes up to 7th. Giat 8th. Brendan Cooley still in the 9th spot. And Patricio Gonzalez now up into 10th. How about JT Hoskins? Started 17th. He's 11th, plus 6, leveraging some of the incidents involved in others. And we say that all the time. Listen, the best way to get a pass done is to not have to get it done at all. Let the other drivers make the mistakes. You make sure you stay out of trouble, and you're going to get the passes you need.
Pato Gonzalez is up 8 as well. He started back in 18th position and up into the top 10 here. So that's a great recovery drive for him.
So laps going in here under the full course yellow, 20 laps of racing. We have a 30-minute time limit, so there's lots of time here still. We're working lap number 8, so we got tons of time still to get it done. I would like to have seen some more green flag racing, but just a couple of minor mistakes, drivers pushing. I talked to Thomas Nordquist in the pre-race show, and he was looking for his best run. This was going to be his breakthrough. He knew he had a great car when they were here in June. He figured he was going to be able to do it. Little minor mistake, dropping a wheel. You talked about it, John. Doesn't take much to get shot to the other side of the racetrack. Thankfully, he gets one more try at it tomorrow morning. We're going to get it back on the racetrack again. So the USF Juniors drivers get to do it all again. The session for them tomorrow morning, bright and early. We'll go green flag racing at 9:40 in the morning. 4 races for you tomorrow. 1 race for juniors, 1 race for 2000, and 2 races for the Pro 2000 category. And then we'll be on the racetrack early on Sunday morning as well. The first race of the day, a 8:20 green flag for the back end of the triple header for USF 2000. So indeed, things are shaking around here a little bit now, as we know. Fisher, Scorpione, Vergara, Weldon, and Loiacono. Now the question is, what's Vergara going to be like here? Because if he wants to catch up with the championship at all, he's got to get by a Scorpione. You cannot lose more points there. Ty Fisher's loving it right now because once we get into lap 11, he'll have led the most laps. That's a bonus point for him. Fast lap right now belongs to a Scorpione with a 26.9. That's another bonus point as well. So pole, most laps led, fast lap in the race, bonus points of 1, 30 points for the race win. Ty Fisher looking to get himself back up here. Remember, he's behind his teammate by 12. This will gain a couple of points here right now. He's going to at least, because remember, he's already got the pole point too.
Right.
So he's in a really good spot here to potentially come away with a 5 or 6 point swing on his teammate.
Norquist into the pit lane as the crew will have a look to see if there's any damage to that car. First thing they do is check the suspension on all 4 corners, make sure everything's straight.
They better get him out here quick if they're going to get him, because the field is coming up the hill here right now. He is still in pit lane. No, now he is leaving.
And we're going to get a restart. Lights are out on the safety car.
He's going to have a chance to get out there and get throttling up.
Yeah, he's already a lap down, but he won't lose another one if he's
exactly that. Yeah,
if he's able to get back out, and he is. And here we come to the restart.
Do it again. Ty Fisher's going to lead him. He's already done it one time. Let's see if the Scorpione can respond. He does. The Scorpione, a great launch. He gets it. A Scorpione's going to pull to the outside. We'll give you the shot coming up here. There's a Scorpione trying to get the run. This could be the nice over-under if he does it correctly. Cross back over. Because a little bit of a shallow entry there, kind of covered off the bottom for Ty Fisher. Did we get a run here for a Scorpione as they work their way back up the hill once again? Scorpione going to tuck to the driver's left. He's going to try to swing all the way around the outside. And listen, Vergara is loving this because he's going to run the inside line. Does not get a run. And in fact, way to the outside goes to Scorpione. A lot of confidence in the Zanella machine. Yeah, why not too wide? Punch a big hole in the air. Vergara is thinking about defending from Weldon as well, as Oliver Weldon from P4 looks ready to challenge. How's it look coming down the hill into turn number 4? We are still naked, maybe 3 wide, thinking to the inside. Vergara looking to the bottom of the racetrack, not quite there. Oh, inside, outside. Check this coming down the hill. I think that maybe Fisher may have enough to go to the bottom. He'll tuck it back in again, side by side for the teammates. Hold your breath. Zanella team can't believe what they're seeing right now. And it's a Scorpione to the lead. And listen, we talk about the fact that sometimes it takes more than one corner to make an overtake. That overtake started on the front straightaway with a different run through turn number 1. He ends up getting the pass done in turn number 7, John. That's the beauty of Mid-Ohio. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but you can still get it done. Oh, here comes Weldon to the inside of Vergara on the exit there as well.
Yeah, a little bobble through the carousel for Vergara.
Oh, Weldon's going to go 4 wheels off. He's going to lose at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Yeah, he'll lose at least 4 spots. He tried to hang the outside on Vergara and just lost a wheel on the outside. Weldon, tough one for him, as he's going to go back significantly. I want to say all the way back to, I think, 8th. I think Vilo Attila was the driver who threw it in there in turn number 1 at the end. Vergara is by Fisher as well, so Joao Vergara has got himself now up into 2nd. Good stuff here. As the restarts, an excellent opportunity to overtake. As long as you put yourself in the right spot. Scorpione, so impressive the way he handled the first 7 corners to be able to get by. Fisher goes back into 3rd as, again, Vergara is by him. Look at the battle further back, though. I love this. Number of drivers looking for positions. Further back, all the way back to Connor Aspley, who's currently in 12th. You've got Brendan Cooley in front of him, JT Hoskins in front of him. This is good stuff right now in the USF Juniors program. Hopefully we can string together some green flag laps. 11 in the books, 9 more to go of a 20-lap contest. Still 18 minutes left on the time clock. So a long way to go here.
Loiakino's looking great too, as he is right on the tail end of Ty Fisher as they're working their way.
Hey, you know, for Ty, it's part of the mental game, right? You led, you lost a spot, you got roughed up for the next one. Keep your head down. You got to stop the bleeding. You got to get yourself back in the game. You know you have the fastest race car out there. You were just a little bit quicker than your teammate in qualifying. You know the car's there. Just settle back in, go to work. Loiakino qualified back at 8th. He was a half a second off of you on fast time. I guarantee they're on the radio saying, you have the race car, settle down, put your head back down, get in the draft of Vergara, and they'll make a move coming down into turn 4. Watch for Fisher to try to take that spot back when they get the run. You can see them all lining up as they come out of the keyhole down the straightaway here. Not quite enough for the draft, I think, there, as Vergara has a good lap going. But this is the opportunity to potentially get the run. It's such a long straightaway downhill, and in contrast to the uphill turn number 2, the keyhole turn, the braking zone shrunk, of course, because of the uphill run. On a downhill run, the momentum keeps you going. It's a longer braking zone, and you have to make sure you plan for that. The drivers drop the wheel further back. That's one of the Jay Howard cars. Have dropped the wheel a little bit further back. Not sure if that was Fernandez or not. I would believe likely Fernandez. Again, coming through Thunder Valley. Thomas Nordquist out there by himself doing a great job hammering laps out. Watching the leaders come down through the carousel now. I think the remainder of the field coming up this great shot as they come up out of Thunder Valley, turning in through 10 to 11. Scorpione thinking about trying to win race number 4, potentially stretching his point lead. Remember, 7-point lead over Weldon. Weldon currently running in the 7th position. He's able to get back by Vilo Attila. Hoskins runs in 9th, Brendan Cooley in 10th. Brendan Cooley's best finish of the year so far is 8th at NOLA. This would be his 2nd best finish if he's able to come home here P10. I don't think Cooley's done yet. He is battle. That's him on the outside of Hoskins there. Cooley trying the outside run, coming down into the keyhole. I like the bravery. Look at this. Now he's going to try to go to the inside. That's a great battle. That is for 9th and 10th. Hoskins and Cooley. Cooley had position coming through the kink of turn number 3. You see that back there? Does he make a run to the inside? Does he throw it down the bottom? Here comes Cooley to the inside. Book it. He's through. Oh, Hoskins thinking about the inside again. No, great pass there for Brendan Cooley to move his way up into the 9th spot. Patricio Gonzalez now the driver getting ready to fight it out with Hoskins, and I think he may have got through as well, as did Connor Aspley. John, that's just a case of getting on the outside. You know, he could never get back down to the apex that he needed to get to, and that, of course, allowed everybody to come streaming through.
Yep. And that's a great recovery drive for Hoskins. Again, he didn't qualify well back in row 9, and, you know, up here battling just inside the top 10.
He's still +5.
Yeah.
Now, even though he just, I think, fell to probably 11th or 12th, he's still +5 on the day so far. 13 laps down. No real challenge in the top group here right now. Let's see what Brendan Cooley's got. We saw him on the move. What has he got for lap times? Cooley today, 127.7 in that overtake. Lost a bit of ground to Vilo Atala, so Cooley runs now in the 9th spot. Again, we said P8 was his best finish. Cooley 8th at NOLA in race number 2 all the way back in April, so he needs a good bounce back here now. He was actually having a great run at Road America in the USF 2000 race as well, but got taken out with the driver climbing over the back of him in turn 14 on the final circuit. Actually, the second last lap, he actually brought out the yellow at the end of the race, getting driven over top of. So he's had some ups and downs, but I think Cooley's going to be a driver who's going to be impressive next year in 2026. Again, look at the racing further back. Good stuff back there as well. That, I believe, is Emma Scarborough going at it with Michael Succo. So they're going at it right there as well with, I believe, Fernandez. As I said, great racing all the way through the field. That's all we want. These drivers to be involved in these one-on-one battles. It's just the dogfight of racing, to be able to understand where you are, where you're positioning your race car, where you can defend and not make a mistake. Because again, the drivers like to call it blocking. I remind them if they use the word defending, it's a lot less egregious. So if you are defending, you cannot move. You cannot move in reaction to the driver behind you. That's one of the rule sets of our program. So if a driver's behind you and has made a move to your left to try to make a pass, you can't move to the left to block. You can't make a move in defense. You can come out of a corner and move to the left immediately before they do, but you then can't come back to defend when they get a better run. Scorpioni, Vergara, Fisher, Loiacono, and Gonzalez, the top 5. Weldon runs 6th, Giat 7th, Attila 8th, Cooley 9th, and Gonzalez 10th. 15 laps down, 5 laps remaining. The first of 2 races here for USF Juniors. Again, we're back at it again right after this. We're looking at very likely a 2:10 green flag, but we will be back at it right after this. Essentially, we're going straight from victory lane right back up here to the tower for USF 2000 to cap off what's been a morning full of development level racing. If you are a fan of the NTT IndyCar Series and you're hanging around the track here right now, you're at your campsite, you're watching online, this is the future. This is where Kyle Kirkwood, Pato O'Ward, Arenas VK, Christian Rasmussen, Louis Foster, this is where they came from. They ran in this program. So this is what you're seeing. These are the future drivers you're going to see here at Mid-Ohio and IndyCar in 4, 5, 6 years' time.
Top 3 have broken away just a little bit from Loiacono, so it's kind of a 3-horse battle at the front of it right now. Scorpioni trying to extend that points lead. Joao Vergara looking for another win here at Mid-Ohio if he can find a way around. And Ty Fisher started from the pole, got roughed up just a little bit, dropped back to 3rd, but he's still very much in the hunt with 4 laps to go.
4 laps remaining, as John had said. What do we have for the battle here? When's it going to come? It's starting to close up a bit. Vergara got a really nice run through turn number 1, I think. He's only about 3 or 4, maybe just 3 car lengths back as they come out of 2. There it is there. That's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, as John had said. Then back to 4th, Loiacono. Big back to 5th, which is Gonzalez. 6th, Weldon. 7th, Attila. And then you've got the next group there. Brendan Cooley is 100% closing up on Diego Giat for 8th, though. He was faster last time by a full second. So Cooley up on the wheel. He's going to get some draft help as well when they come down in here. Yeah, we're going to see ourselves with a couple of battles, I think, before this thing's all said and done. 4 laps to go. Vergara in his head is, I've got to get by a Scorpioni. I'm already back significantly right now in the points. I'm 23 points back. I can't let him get another 3 or 4 points on me. I will say this, I think Fisher still has the most laps led, and he's got, of course, the pole lap. Fastest lap right now is Fisher, so he's got that bonus. He's got all 3 bonus points right now, Ty Fisher does. But late in the race, we might see a driver go purple, especially with the draft. Everybody's working their way through the carousel here. They're trying to pick up the next battle on the racetrack. Giat, Cooley, and then the 15 of Gonzalez. They're pretty close together right now, I'll tell you. Scorpione just set the fast time of the race right there. I said late in the race, these cars get lighter. These Continentals are going to hold on. They're not going to fade off here. Remember, everybody started with fresh rubber. Well, maybe not, actually. Somebody may have saved a fresh set for race number 2, so I shouldn't jump to the conclusion and say that. But nonetheless, these tires are holding on. Scorpione just turned the fast lap, extends his gap to 0.6 of a second. JT Hoskins now lining up Connor Aspley for 11th. That was that shot you saw coming through turn number 3, rather. We'll see if he gets that job done. No, he's right on him coming down through 4 and 5. I like this. That's a good battle for JT Hoskins. You want him to re-engage. I don't want to go into the Top Gun reference, but I probably can. Obviously an issue at Road America, had that big wreck. You've got to engage. You've got to get right back at it. Not just get in the race car, but he's got to engage. He's got to get back into some battles. We already saw him in a couple, so I'm really liking the bounce back for JT Hoskins. A little look at the mettle of the young man, right? To be able to bounce right back, and I like to see that out of any of the drivers here. Fight back after an incident, get in the fight, and Hoskins putting all the pressure now on Aspley for that position.
2 to go as Scorpione stretching his advantage just a little bit. The battle's on for second, however, as Fisher trying to recover around Vergara. Vergara doing what he needs to keep Fisher behind him, because that will close that points battle down.
Kaylee Countryman back on the racetrack, as we said, those laps down after that contact with her and Hudson Potter. But now she's closed up, I believe, on the back of Emma Scarborough right now. And she's, again, this could be just that's the battle right there. She's going to make a move to the inside. Now, listen, I've always said you want to beat your teammate first and foremost. You want to win races. And I think for Kaylee and Madison and Emma, they're all trying to beat each other too, right? Like I want to be the top girl here right now. Although, again, like I always say, car doesn't know who's driving it. Doesn't matter. You put the helmet on, the car has no idea. Just go to work. Love the fact you have these 3 young ladies in their first year here at USF Juniors. I hope to see all 3 of them back in juniors next year. I think that would be a great opportunity for them to move their way up and be front row, battling for top 10s, battling for podiums and race wins. Little drop of the wheel for Loiacono. You can tell he's pushing further back. He's P4 right now, 5th place in points. But as John said, a Scorpione out to almost 0.8 of a second. White flag will fly this time by. A Scorpione trying to grab his 4th win of the season. Zanello looking to go 1st and 3rd. Vergara on that last lap. How about a half a tenth faster? 500s, not going to get the job done right now, but he'll get one big run, a couple opportunities to leverage the draft. White flag in our first of 7 races here on the weekend. USF 2000 drivers sitting over on the pre-grid, getting ready for their first race of a triple header. 20 laps for them as well. You know what? It's not going to be a battle for the lead, but it could be a battle for second. Ty Fisher is closer to Vergara than Vergara is to a Scorpione. Fisher maybe thinking about trying to go and make it a Zanello Racing 1-2, just like they did in qualifying. Look at Fisher right there on him. Loiacono all by himself there. Again, John, as we know, there's not a lot of place to pass from here on. You got to kind of force a mistake. Maybe lunge down to the inside of the carousel, the entry there. There's not a lot of places once you get through turns 5 and 6. But you can make a mistake anywhere on this racetrack. I'm going to tell you that right now. You drop a wheel anywhere to it over. So here comes the Scorpione up out of Thunder Valley. He's going to try to go for his 4th win of the year to stretch that point lead over Oliver Weldon. Weldon currently running P6. Just got to guide it through. And for the 4th time in 2025, the winner in USF Juniors is Leonardo Scorpione. A Scorpione winning over Joao Vergara. Ty Fisher coming home in 3rd. Liam Loiacono in 4th spot. Rodrigo Gonzalez 5th. Oliver Weldon 6th. Vilo Attila in 6th. 7th goes, Weldon 6th, Attila 7th. Diego Guillo in 8th, Brendan Cooley in 9th. 10th spot was Patricio Gonzalez, 11th, JT Hoskins, 12th, Connor Aspley, 13th, Emma Scarborough, 14th, Michael Succo, Matan Achatov in 15th, Maddie Collar in 16th, Kaylee Countryman 17th, 1 lap down, although she essentially pushed Connor Aspley across the line, but she was a lap down. Chase Fernandez, as we know, lap down as well. Thomas Nordquist after that issue in turn 1, 2 laps down in 19th, and Hudson Potter with the contact with Kaylee Countryman over in turn number 4, only getting those 2 laps in. So a couple of yellows, John, slowed us. A little bit of contact, one little mistake as well. But the bottom line is, say this all the time, the cream kind of rose to the top. The drivers in the front of the point standings are the guys we saw at the front of the race here as well, with Scorpione, Vergara, Fisher, Loiacono, those drivers all in the championship fight right now.
Yeah, Scorpione extending his points lead, giving a little breathing room over Oliver Weldon. I'm sure Oliver is rueing that little dropping the wheels off here, coming onto the front straightaway. It cost him a bunch of spots. He certainly had the pace to be right there in the top battle. So that's a lesson learned. He'll come back for race number 2 and see what he can do.
A couple of guys just to shout out. First and foremost, Brendan Cooley. Great job for P9, his second best run of the season. Cooley started he started 7th, fell back to 9th, but he was in a couple of really good battles there. JT Hoskins, man. Well, that instant, if you've seen it on social media, it was probably the worst wreck I've seen in all the years I've done for USF 2000 and F2000 competition, but the Tatis tub held up beautifully for him. Minor concussion. He's able to come back, not only get in the car, race hard, but engage in a couple of great battles. Love to see JT Hoskins into 11th. So great run for him. We got the field coming through. John, I'm going to head down to Victory Lane. I'll get that wrapped up. I'll be back up here with you for USF 2000. We're going to celebrate right now a big win for Leonardo Scorpione.
Indeed. Well done. Rob's going to make his way down to the podium to talk to our winning 3 drivers, or top 3 finishers, should we say. Scorpione, Vergara, and Fisher taking those podium spots. Shout out to Pato Gonzalez. Again, we talked about it a little bit during the race. A big move started back outside of row number 9 and ended up in the 10th position. So good recovery drive from him. JT Hoskins right with him as well, who started with Gonzalez. Those two started in that 9th row and both found themselves up into 10th and 11th respectively. So well done in that regard. As our winner, Leonardo Scorpione, down in Victory Circle, getting unbuckled. And he'll get congratulations from his team as he extends his points lead over Oliver Weldon. Ty Fisher coming home from the pole into that 3rd spot. We'll close down on Oliver Weldon as well, with Weldon stumbling back to a 6th place finish. Again, a great recovery as he dropped back to about 9th or 10th and picked his way back up to a 6th place finish. Scorpione finally climbing out of that race car. And he will celebrate with good reason. His 4th win on the season. Backing up a win at New Orleans and then back-to-back wins at Barber. And then 3 podium finishes in his last 4 races and make it win number 4 as he extends that points lead. For those of you here at the racetrack, more racing coming up as the USF 2000 first race of the weekend. We expect green flag at about 2:05, just about 20 minutes from now, so we should have time for Rob Howden to get down to Victory Circle and interview our top 3 finishers before we set the starting grid for the USF 2000 race number 1. Coming up at 2 o'clock, that's in about 15 minutes time, the IndyCar autograph session located near the American Legion Pavilion. Just look for the big inflatable Firestone Firehawk. That's basically where the autograph session is going to be. And that's coming up in 15 minutes time. And it's your only opportunity this weekend to get the interview of your favorite IndyCar drivers. We'll have interviews, we'll have autograph sessions for Indy Lights and for all 3, or Indy Next, excuse me, and for all 3 of the USF 2000 USF Championship drivers coming up tomorrow. But today, the autograph session at 2 o'clock. That's about 15 minutes from now. Rob Howden has mounted the podium. Let's send it down to him. Rob, go ahead.
John, thank you. Out here in Victory Lane right now. I'm going to move over to get myself closer to a speaker here. Let's get things underway, folks, as the drivers here in this PFC Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. The first of seven here for the weekend. Good stuff here right now, again, with the drivers in USF Juniors. A couple of yellow flags, but bottom line is some very talented drivers were able to work their way up here. Let's start off with the driver coming home in third place today. Give it up for Zanella Racing's Ty Fisher. Fisher coming home in the third spot. Finishing in second today for VRD Racing, Joao Vergara. But again, folks, as I said, fourth win on the season for this young driver. The point leader coming in, he point advantage here into the next race. Finishing as the race winner today, Leonardo Scorpione. Leo, let's have a quick chat here right now. Congratulations, you know, wins are crucial in this series. So many drivers here have the ability to do it. Give me your thoughts on coming away with the win here today.
I mean, it was honestly amazing. We already with the championship lead, so honestly, going into, I wasn't really thinking about the race win. I was thinking about just finishing on the podium and staying there. But then on the restart, I saw an opportunity to pass Cy, and I went for it. And we had some pretty good racing going through 4, 5, and 6, and I was able to pull off the move.
Then, of course, you had to pull away. You had drivers coming at the end. Did you know Vergara was getting close?
Yeah, I could tell in the mirrors he was pretty quick at the end. And, I mean, it was about staying consistent, staying on track, as I know it's really hard to pass through with the dirty air, so it's just about just staying on track.
What about tomorrow? What about tomorrow morning? You think you're going to have a better car? Can you make it faster?
Yeah, I think I need to improve the driving a little bit, but we'll be good.
All right, the driving. That's good. Well done. All right, who do you want to thank today?
I want to thank my dad, Ernie, Naka, Mimo, everyone under Zanella, God, my mom, and everyone who made this possible.
Well done, my friend. Get up on top of the podium here right now. One more time, folks. Great run there for Leonardo Scorpione with the race win, his fourth win of the season, stretching his point lead out. All of the bonus points going to Ty Fisher for the fast lap of the race, I believe. Of course, most laps led, as well as the pole position. Joao Vergara, crucial points as well, coming home here in the second position. So again, these drivers up front most certainly showing their power and their speed and their talent here at Mid-Ohio in front of the IndyCar teams. Of course, we know that they were also on the IndyCar event at the Barber Motorsports Park, but another opportunity to race in front of IndyCar here, potentially their future bosses down the line. We look for all of these drivers to work their way up through our entire program, starting in juniors, moving to USF 2000, the top drivers going there very likely in 2026, and then on to USF Pro 2000, Indy next, and if all goes well, the NTT IndyCar Series. USF 2000 drivers are on the grid right now, or at least on the pre-grid. We'll begin them out here shortly as their race follows up here right after this USF Juniors Victory Lane celebration. Juniors will be back on the racetrack first thing tomorrow morning to cap off their weekend here at Mid-Ohio. Then we have two races on the day tomorrow for USF Pro 2000, one for USF 2000, and then Sunday morning capping off the seventh race of a exciting weekend here for the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire, with USF 2000 backing up their triple header weekend here. So Champaign working its way out here momentarily. We'll let these drivers get a chance to get at it here. All right, guys, go grab that champagne. Let's get at it. Let's grip it and rip it. The first of two celebrations here on the weekend. Leonardo Scorpione getting the race win here in USF Juniors, extending that championship lead. Tremendous job for him. Great stuff to start off the season, and of course midway through, and now the stretch run with 8 races to go. Make it 7 races to go after today. He has the lead heading into tomorrow's race. That caps things off for USF Juniors. Send it back up to John Phippen as we're about set to go with USF 2000.
Thanks so much, Rob. And again, great first race of the weekend. We got another one coming up as USF 2000 getting ready for their pre-race festivities leading up to a 2:05 green flag we expect for USF 2000. And then we will be in practice mode for the rest of the day with the Indy Next drivers coming out at 3:05, followed by their NTT IndyCar drivers at 4:35. And we'll be covered with IndyCar Radio Network coverage from both of those sessions coming up in just a little over an hour. And remember, the IndyCar driver autograph session coming up at 2 o'clock That's about 10 minutes from now in the infield. Just head over to the American Legion display. Again, it's right near the inflatable Firestone Firehawk, not far from the Mid-Ohio deck. So head over there, get yourself queued up, and you'll get a chance to get the autograph of your favorite NTT IndyCar driver.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
The USF Pro Championships is really the development level for drivers coming out of karting to move their way to the NTT IndyCar Series. The whole concept is we teach them everything they need to know all the way up the ranks.
The USF Pro Championships, it's North American Open Wheel Racing's version of college sports. Got 3 tiers to it, which is pretty important. This whole thing is geared to go upwards and really define who the next stars happen to be.
There's so many drivers that come into the sport and maybe don't have the financial resources to make it all the way to the big time, right? All the way to IndyCar. The scholarship program provides a monetary award that goes to a driver winning the championship that allows them to move up to the next level. So if you win a championship, you win the money you need to go racing in the next level.
A number of drivers in IndyCar today have used the ladder system to gain experience and to gain funding via the scholarships to pay for the next level.
The USF Pro Championship helped me get to this spot in my career because of the many opportunities that it creates.
It was massive for me. The scholarships that are implemented are crucial for drivers. That was my lifeline all the way to IndyCar, and it's a big reason why I made it.
It's very unique, you know. We have the opportunity to win our way to IndyCar, basically, and some guys have done that.
The USF Pro Championships really helped me to get where I am today. You get so much racing on IndyCar tracks. You get ovals too, which for a European guy, that's something that's very useful.
This series is a smooth way of adding new developments into my career and new aspects of it. Like it's a smooth way of learning how to grow as a driver.
It has a great reputation. The competition level is amazing. It just gives drivers a great opportunity to advance.
The field here is really, really intense. I mean, people are down to the hundreds of thousands a second.
It's a great development series, and I think it's somewhere that you should be if you want to be going to IndyCar.
With 3 levels in the USF Pro Championships, we have USF Juniors, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000. One of the key components of the technical side of our sport is the fact that all 3 levels have the same basic chassis in itself. The USF Juniors, USF 2000, very similar race cars with the same engine as well. Larger engine, more horsepower. for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. But what we always say is that we want our drivers to get a little bit more of everything as they work their way up the ranks.
We hooked up with Italian race car designer Tatis Race Cars. They are the biggest in the world in junior Formula cars, and they've built us an incredible car to our specs. We started with what is a typical Formula 4 chassis, but we strengthened it with a double bulkhead to protect drivers' feet, side intrusion panels. The core of the series is the Tatis race car. The tub is the same on all three levels, and a lot of the pieces transfer over from one level to another. So you increase the horsepower on every level, the lap times get quicker on every level, but it's all basically the same cockpit and the same controls, the same data system, and the drivers can learn as they gradually increase horsepower and go faster.
So the Juniors and the US2000 are basically the same car, same engine, same gearbox. Where it comes into is the engine is detuned. It has a different restrictor on, which is different horsepower. It has different wheels, different dampers, different uprights, different brakes. From there to the pro level, it's different body work, it's different wings on the car, it's a totally different engine. The first two levels, they integrate with each other very good. Going to the next one, the same. Still the same, tub, suspension, uprights are the same on a pro car, and brakes as a 2000. It just gets into being a little bit more. It's got a bigger gearbox on it, bigger wheels, bigger tires, more horsepower.
So every step we have specifically designed to make sure you're ready to go that next year when you move up a level. Well, no time to wait at all to get right back at it once again here. USF Juniors really just wrapping things up. The cars back through the paddock to their pit areas. We just finished up victory lane celebrations. I will make a correction. It actually wasn't a full brace of bonus points for Ty Fisher. It actually Joao Vergara who was able to come and grab that fast lap of the race late in the run. He was the quickest driver. He'll take a bonus point there as well. So maybe limiting the damage a little bit to Leonardo Scorpione, stretching that point lead out a little. But again, we jump right from USF Juniors right into USF 2000 drivers on the pre-grid. I have not rolled them out here onto the grid yet, but we will have a look at the 17 drivers who are set to go. Starting at the tail of the field, making his debut, his first race here in the USF 2000 category, a regular in the Mazda MX-5 Cup program for D-Force Racing. It's the number 17 of Vaughn Mishko. Mishko at the 17 out of Sylvan Lake, Michigan, making his first start here. Up to row number 8 on the outside from South Africa for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development. Vian Bossoff in the number 67. A big shunt for him in practice and testing at Road America as well. We talked about JT Hoskins' wreck, but he had a really big one as well that you can find on social media. But they pulled the spare car out. He got right back in the car and went right back at it again. Vian was up on the wheel at Road America. He's going to start 16th here on the outside of road number 8, but I expect to see him pushing his way forward. Starting alongside him, Timmy Carell out of Pacific Palisades, California for J. Howard Driver Development in the number 8. He'll start in the 15th spot. Uncharacteristic run to the tail there in qualifying. Evan Cooley just did not find the pace. I didn't think he had gone to tires. I confirmed that he did put fresh tires on, but just something not there with a pace for Evan Cooley. I guarantee the team sat down and poured over the data. He may be the driver to watch coming from the tail of the field in the exclusive Autosport number 90. Cooley starting 14th. And again, as I said, 6th place in points. His worst starting spot on the year, other than that, was 8th in the opening round. So he's never been outside the top 10. Cooley will attack from P14. Alongside him, a driver who may be able to go forward with, and that is Eddie Beswick in the number 30. Beswick 15th in points, but this new team, Synergy Motorsports, has been coming on strong. Midway through the season, really starting to get their footing. Beswick, the team, all from Australia, so them coming over here, just kind of setting up their home base, just getting to understand the race car, you name it. They're finding a lot of headway, a lot of progress throughout the middle part of the season. Going down to row number 6 on the outside, rookie in the program, Ryan Janetta out of California in the VRD Racing number 99. His best career starting spot, starting on the outside of row number 6. Inside of him, Ayrton Hauk in the number 58, the driver who's 10th place in points. Ayrton Hauk right there for Benchmark Autosport, set to start here from 11th. Another driver I expect to move forward as he has been fast in testing. Into the top 10 now for the first time, starting on the outside, Joshua Leonel from the Woodlands, Texas for D-Force Racing joined us in the pre-race show. Leonel starting in the 10th spot in that number 11. Alongside him, a driver who actually topped the test session yesterday and actually was very quick in practice this morning as well, Anthony Martella out of Ontario, Canada, in the J. Howard Driver Development Young Drivers of Canada number 9. He'll start in the 9th position. And again, he has the speed, I think, that's way quicker than P9. We'll go to row 4 now to Bogota, Colombia, the number 12 for D-Force Racing. 2 times a winner last year at the Superkarts USA Super Nationals in the junior categories. Last year's Lucas Oil School of Racing champion as well, Sebastian Garzon in the number 12. He's going to start in the 8th position. A driver who ran in USF Juniors and did a number of USF 2000 races last year as well. G3 Argyros in the number 23. Argyros starting 7th for Pabst Racing, the number 23 driver out of Newport Beach, California, in the Positive Beverage Pabst Racing, number 23. Moving now up into row number 3, another driver making steady gains here mid-season, Lucas Facuri out of Brazil for Exclusive Autosport in the number 91. Facuri is going to start in the 6th position. Alongside him, the winner from the most recent race at Road America, Teddy Masella for VRD Racing in the number 25, moved his way up into 3rd in points with a 2nd and a 1st at Road America. A big weekend in Wisconsin, and look for Masella to try to keep this momentum fueled as he works his way through a triple header weekend here at Mid-Ohio. Best career starting spot for this driver here as well, Christian Cameron in the number 19 for VRD Racing out of Sonoma, California in the TKO Motorsports Bitterman Group machine. Again, as I said, best starting position we've seen for Christian Cameron last year in USF Juniors. Up here this year, just 15 years of age. In fact, he may still be just 14, may have just turned 15. Indeed, starting in the number 19 P4. Keep it out for this young driver, Caleb Gaffera out of North Carolina for Pabst Racing in that number 24, the Circle K machine. A very impressive driver, high resume in karting, Formula Ford, Skip Barber, you name it. He's done a lot of racing, continues to race at the top level of karting as well. Number 24 of Caleb Gaffera starting in 3rd. 17 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Off pole, the driver who's 2nd place in points coming in. That is Jack Jeffers out of San Antonio, Texas for Exclusive Autosport, a winner earlier this year on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He has got 5 podiums on the year so far. Jack Jeffers ready to fight it out with the driver who's going to start right in front of him. Jeffers in the 92 for Exclusive Autosport. And the driver he's going to battle with, Thomas Schrag from Bethel, Ohio. This is the home track for Thomas Schrag. You see it right on the side of the car there. Tire Discounters, the sponsor here as well. Schrag in the number 2 on the pole position. And indeed, his, I believe, first pole of the year as well. And great place to let it happen here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. The point leader coming in. 27 markers make it 28 with the bonus point for qualifying on the pole. Schrag and Jeffers on row 1. Masella and Argyros row 2. McNeely and Cooley row 3. Gaffera and Martella row 4. Garzon alongside Hauk on row 5. And again, the drivers working their way forward. There they are there. Schrag, Jeffers, Gaffera, Cameron. I'll tell you, this is going to be an interesting one. John Phippen, again, John, the voice of Mid-Ohio, joining me here on the broadcast throughout the weekend. If you want to do good, you want to have success, it's at the home track race. All you got to do is ask Graham Rahal, where does he want to win? He wants to win at Mid-Ohio. Thomas Schrag, I'm going to say, feeling exactly the same way.
Exactly right. Yeah, this has got to be the track where, as Graham says, other than the Indy 500, or a win here is his most important race of the season. So he's looking for good stuff, and Thomas Schrag obviously feeling the same way as a local driver looking to put his home track advantage to his best, put his best foot forward.
And qualifying on the pole, John.
Yeah.
Big.
And he's leading the points. So
everything's going good right now.
Yeah. It's good to be Thomas Schrag right now.
Again, we're going to see that first attack, of course, down into turn number 4, 5, and 6. We'll see how it all plays out here now. Not surprising, some of the guys up front in the championship, as we said, Schrag and Jeffers, P1 and P2. Gaffera currently in the 7th place in the points. He needs a big result to get himself up a little further. Christian Cameron, as I said before, he's 11th place in the points right now. You scroll through to his best start, rather. He's got a couple of 9ths and a 7th, so P4. What a great qualifying run for this young driver who's continuing to develop. Like so many of these young drivers, we watch them with this meteoric arc up to learn more and more, figuring out the qualifying sessions, figuring out how to handle the races here. It's a lot different than you had when you were in kart racing and maybe you were running a shorter sprint or whatever it may be. This is a different animal, no doubt. And as they get a feel for it, they understand the cars, how to handle these cold tire laps, the opening couple of corners here. they really start to come to the forefront. So a great qualifying effort there for Christian Cameron. I hope it ends up turning into a solid result for him as well.
Yeah, and right behind him, Teddy Musella, who's currently third in the points, coming off the win at the most recent round at Road America. Obviously looking for more good stuff here. And as we talked about, VRD Racing has a good combination here.
Yeah, where are they, right? First, fourth, and fifth for VRD. And then even Ryan Janetta in a 12th, his best career starting spot as well, best of the year. So Ryan even with a really good run, leveraging on that power and that, of course, setup for VRD. I will say this, John, you and I talk all the time. The words that come out every time we do this year on year is confidence and momentum. If anybody has it right now, Thomas Schrag for sure, but Teddy Musella coming off that weekend at Road America, this guy has got to be thrilled. Again, speaking of Teddy Musella, let's have a look at the top 5 in points right now as well. I mentioned that Thomas Schrag now with what was a 27-point lead, called a 28-point lead if you tack on the bonus point for qualifying on pole. He's P1. Jack Jeffers back by 27 points in second. Then you got Teddy Musella running in third. He is only 9 points behind Jeffers. Argero's a little bit further back right now. He is a little further back as we have yellow flag being shown here at start-finish. No start there. It seemed to me like they were a little quick coming up.
Yeah,
like
they were right on the tail of the safety car. He was trying to get away and just couldn't do it.
Hence, honestly, as I started going through the top 5 and then looked down at the points, they were still coming out of turn number 9. I don't know how the heck they got up here so quickly. You and I are looking. I'm seeing the yellow flag. Yeah, so that was, again, Schrag, Jeffers, Musella, Argeros, and essentially Evan Cooley, P5, as we're not really going to count Liam McNeely now as he has not been here for a couple of weekends. But darn, they were all on top of the pace car. And I'll tell you this, I'd love to have the race control radio in right now with the radio, because I guarantee you the voice of race control, Jim Swintel, is giving them a stern talking to as only Jim Swintel can. Yelling without yelling. Let's put it that
exactly
way.
Right. Exactly right.
Because that doesn't happen. You're supposed to, what you're supposed to do is hold pace car speed,
right,
and then the pace car bolts away. The minute the pace car comes into Thunder Valley, they're going to stand on the gas and get out of there. They obviously stuck with them. So, that's I guarantee there's going to be a meeting afterwards between race control and very likely Thomas Schrag. So let's see if we get a little bit better. And they're super quick again. They're definitely not crawling their way up here. The rest of the field's not even up here yet.
Yeah, they're pretty well strung out. So I think that's the reason they got waved off this first time, because the last couple of rows hadn't had a chance to catch up. They're looking a little better formed up this time, however.
Yeah, they got to stack it, of course, when they get down into the carousel. Looking pretty good. The rest of the field is in. Nicer pace. They've got to get the first 2 or 3, maybe 4 rows straight before the green flag is going to fly, and we are underway. Big start there. In fact, Caleb Gaffera going to try to come on the inside of Jack Jeffers for P2. They'll work their way through there. It's going to be a good start, I think, here for Schrag. We may have had some contact coming through the middle of the corner. No, it looks like everybody's good so far. All you can see from this vantage point is if we get a dust up. But indeed, Gaffera pointed his nose to the inside of Jack Jeffers, and Jeffers had to make the outside run. That's instead, with the inside move for Gaffera, having been pitched down that far, he had to get off a little bit. You can't carry as much speed through or in the bottom part of the racetrack. So he's going to get challenged by both Cameron and Musella. So again, here's that first run I mentioned, down into turn number 4. Look at the battle further back for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They're all the way down to the bottom part of the racetrack, and I think Musella's trying to get to the inside. I think he does, of his teammate Cameron, the VRD driver, side by side. Right behind them, good start, I think, potentially for Ayrton Hauk up into there to a couple spots. So we'll let them all circulate through. One driver had a bit of trouble, you see, coming through turn number 6. Got a little bit of exit oversteer. Had to get some wheel into that to keep it going straight. Otherwise, here you go, Jeffers right there on the gearbox of Thomas Schrag. That opening lap would go in the books because the yellow, that first lap, even though under yellow, will count. Look at that fight further back. We have a driver, a couple drivers have gone off. Big spinner, that's Ayrton Hauk. He's gone around coming up over the top of the hill. Both drivers are going to be able to continue. That is pretty easy to do, folks, when you're coming through there. We'll get a look at that for you when they come back around. Ayrton Hauk and Ryan Janetta, the 2 drivers who went off over the top of the hill. Blind corner coming up out of Thunder Valley. John, you and I talk about it a lot. You've got to set your entry and hope it's right.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it's totally blind coming up out of Thunder Valley, and it's the second fastest turn on the racetrack. So
2 drivers got off like that with Hauk spinning. You got to think maybe potential contact as they were side by side, likely coming up over the hill there. First time down at speed, strung out now on a real race lap as opposed to an opening lap. Here's the leaders up front. Jack Jeffers going to peek to the inside. He'll stay right there with him. Gaffera runs in that third spot. I think it's Lucas Facuri now up into fourth. Indeed, Luke Facuri, the Brazilian's going to move up to fourth spot. Good shot for Lucas. Started sixth, got a couple spots. Cameron gets moved down a couple. In fact, Christian Cameron now getting attacked here by Anthony Martello. That's that fight a little further back between the red and black machine of Cameron and the blue, white, and red and black car of Jay Howard driver Anthony Martello. We're going to see more fighting here momentarily. Top three drivers trying to stretch away a bit here. Schrag, Jeffers, and Gaffera. VRD exclusive in Pabst. Lap number 3 of 20. They'll run the same 20-lap distance as the juniors. And those three drivers trying to pull away. Masella in the draft there of Facuri. Man, a little further back, though, a big group of drivers lined up. Martella, Argyros, Cameron, Lionel, Garzone, and Cooley. Cooley started 14th. He's +3, so move Cooley up into the 11th spot. As I said, potentially coming forward with Eddie Beswick. They now run in 11th and 12th. Cooley was able to get by Beswick in the opening couple laps here. So again, just getting these opening laps in, we'll try to find out what battles we have. And that's the patience, John, that you want out of a young driver up front. Here's Jack Jeffers, though, trying to make a move to the inside. Oh, nice run to the inside, has a look. And a little bit of contact there. Gaffera's going to go around. Jeffers is going to be able to get a move to the lead. To the outside there was Schrag. Oh, I thought he was going to go off track, trying to hold the outside. Again, kind of testing the outside of that lesser banking, not able to hold it. Kind of worked his way back in. Jeffers was there. It looked like there may have been a little bit of contact on the exit. Nonetheless, Jeffers has gone to the lead and Gaffera up into second.
Looks like Masella made a move on Facuri as well. That was going on at the same time as they were up into the S's.
They get so close to that wall coming through. The apex is the wall, essentially, folks, not curbing. Coming through turn number 10. It's essentially the Armco coming through. I walked the track on Wednesday and looked at that. I'm like, man, you're going to get nice and close to here as you transition through. So Jeffers the new leader. Gaffera goes to second. Schrag in third. Masella in fourth. Facuri fifth. Indeed, John was correct. Masella able. No, that was the Masella Facuri run. So actually, Facuri potentially able to get back by. So Martella goes back into sixth. Argyros in seventh. Cameron eighth. Lionel ninth. Garzone in 10th. See where Cooley is on that position. There he is coming through right there. It's Cooley, Beswick, and Carell, Timmy Carell, who are lined up a bit further back. Watch them as they come down through. That's this group right here, led by Lionel, the two D-Force drivers. Joshua Lionel in 9th, Sebastian Garzone in 10th. Cooley, Beswick, and Carell all lined up. Another half second back to Dean Bossoff. So further back there, you can see well back is Ayrton Hauk and Ryan Janetta after that incident in turn 11. Hauk back up on the wheel. He is, in fact, was a second. Yeah, he's a second quicker than Mishko, half a second quicker than everybody in front of him. So Hauk, if he gets himself back up into the top 10, that'll be massive. Yeah, right now back in 16th. He's on damage control right now as Hauk came in here in the 10th spot, although he is just behind Garzone, Martella. There's an opportunity for him to move up 1 or 2 spots over the weekend here if he has a solid run of 3 races. He's going to have to try to recover here in race number 1. Jeffers out front comfortably now as the leader. 5 laps in. Almost a full second over Caleb Gaffera. He was quicker by 2/10 on the last lap.
Masella's the one who's impressing me. After getting around Facuri, he's closed up right on the back of our pole sitter, Thomas Schrag.
Yeah,
as we've got a yellow flag here.
We do. Full course yellow. Trying to figure out what it is, folks. Full course yellow on the racetrack here right now. We'll find out what it is here. Being told in turn number 7. So that's coming up over the hill there. Out of 6th and 7, the blind corner. So whether a driver dropped the wheel, hopefully we'll get a chance to figure that out. No, being told the number 99 pulled off by themselves in turn 6 and 7. So the driver looks like coming down the hill. That's the number 99 of Ryan Janetta. So pulled off the racetrack. Remember, that was the contact between Hauk and Janetta. You wonder whether or not a component broke or whether it was a mechanical issue, some kind of electrical problem. But nonetheless, yellow flag coming out. Jack Jeffers the leader, Gaffera second, Schrag, Masella, and Facuri. As John had pointed out, second fastest driver on the racetrack there was Teddy Masella. He was only a 10th off of Jeffers, but was about 3/10, over 3/10 faster than Schrag on that last lap. And he was only 3/10 back. So there was probably going to be a battle there pretty quickly with Thomas Schrag. So no need to make up that 3/10 now. You'll be on the gearbox when we go back to green flag. And I don't think this will take very long. Jeffers back across the start-finish line here. We'll give you a full field rundown. Jeffers leads, Gafera second, Schrag third, Masella fourth, Lucas Facuri fifth, Anthony Martella in sixth spot, up 3 for Martella. G3 Argyros runs in seventh where he started. Christian Cameron started fourth. He's down to eighth. Joshua Leonel up 1 into ninth. Sebastian Garzon in 10th. Evan Cooley's up 3 from 14th to 11th. This will be good for him. Both he and Eddie Beswick getting a chance to restack and potentially attack for a couple more spots. Beswick 12th, Timmy Carell in 13th, Vian Bossoff 14th, Von Mishko in 15th, and how about Ayrton Hauk? Although Ryan Janetta, the driver who's kind of close up with him, is now out with an issue, Ayrton Hauk restarted for him again. We know he's not a 16th place car on speed, so this will be good for Ayrton to get a chance to get himself back up front, maybe fight himself back up into the top 10. So, more yellows. We were really, really hoping that we were going to see some green to checker racing here. Obviously, an incident, one car-to-car incident in juniors, one driver having a spin. This one, of course, here, just the issue with something, either a component or mechanical for Ryan Janetta. Jeffers went at Thomas Schrag, made that big move. I was just getting ready to talk about patience, but maybe being able to pull away for a bit here during a long-distance run, seeing the top 3 drivers just kind of pull away and realize that the further away you get, the better your chances are. And then Jeffers went for the move. Had a really good run, got down to the inside. And again, they were kind of side-by-side at the entry. Jeffers pulled ahead at the exit, and then coming through the corner with Schrag all the way out onto the exit curbing rumbles. Was trying to hold on there, whether or not there was a bit of contact or not, but it just dropped a little bit of a wheel, brought itself back on. And again, another great part of the reconfiguration of that corner, John, that we saw a couple drivers and juniors go off there and be able to come right back on, as opposed to going up and over and really being a passenger at that point along for the ride. They were able to get a hold of the car, steer it, control it, and get back on the racetrack.
Yep. That redesign did exactly what it was designed to do and make that possible. So.
And great for, again, for us wanting to have more green flag racing.
Going to go around one more time behind the safety car as we're just finishing up the recovery of Janetta's car and didn't quite get the AMR safety vehicle back behind the barrier quick enough to go green. So we'll go green next time by, I believe.
Jack Jefferson pulled out almost a full second lead on Caleb Gafera, so I'm sure he did not want to see the yellow, but drivers that did include his teammate Evan Cooley, Eddie Beswick as well, and most definitely Ayrton Hauk, because he's going to be able to get a big jump here and be right ready to fight with Mishko and Bossoff and Carell, and very likely get right in there with the scrap with Beswick and Cooley as well. Remember, Cooley was a little bit there behind Garzon. He needed a little bit more to work his way up there, and he will be right on their gearbox. So watch for a lot of challenges here. And we'll see what happens as they get back down in a big run down into turn number 4 to see who comes away with it.
Looks like Jack Jeffers slowed down, and Thomas Schrag, and as we have a new leader.
Yeah, I'm calling up race control to see if I can't get what's going on here.
Does Jeffers get penalized for something?
Well, again, like I said, the potential contact down on the exit of the corner, are they calling that in right now? We'll see whether or not. It looks like he's potentially worked his way back. I don't know whether it's a 2-position penalty for contact. I know one of the things that our race control likes to do is if there's an opportunity to issue a penalty and have that driver serve it within the race, they'll do that, as opposed to a 30-second penalty at the end of the race, which could put you from first back into 13th or whatever it may be. If they can serve it during a yellow in the race, which potentially it looks like they've done, putting Gafera to P1, Schrag into second, and then Jeffers looks like he's gone back to P3. So Jeffers has got to do it all over again. It looks like he had the fastest race car on the track. He currently has the fast lap of the race as well. So, yeah, indeed, getting a confirmation that the penalty was served for contact there. So out of that corner, I'm assuming race control has decided, looking at the video, that Jeffers made contact, didn't give enough room for Schrag on the exit of that corner. So reset him again. They'll come back out with Caleb Gafera looking for his first win. We're only 7 laps into a 20-lap contest, and we are back to green flag racing. Schrag all over the gearbox. Coming through turn number 1. He'll get a little bit of aero wash.
Masella equally right behind Jeffers as well. So the battle on for the lead and for third as they come up into the keyhole.
I was waiting to see what happened there, but look at that. There was a big I think maybe just a bit of aero wash for Schrag right with him, because he was right on the gearbox, but then left a ton coming out of the corner. That's actually allowed Jack Jeffers to get a pretty good run. Teddy Masella there as well. Fakuri, Martella, all lining up there behind. Again, the first run down to turn number 4, as I said. Here we go. Jeffers going to look to the inside once again. This time a big move to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side again. Yeah, more decisive to the move to the inside. Look who's coming around the corner. Masella going to go by Schrag as well. Down the bottom of the hill. Does Masella throw it into the bottom of the racetrack? He does. Side by side, man, this is one of those passes that takes a couple of corners. Right in there as well. The drivers from further back trying to take advantage of it. That's what you have to do when you see the guys in front of you battling. Position the car to potentially get in there as well. If a driver gets hung out to dry on the outside, they can often lose a bunch of spots. Gaffera's gone to the lead. Jeffers into second. I want to say Masella now up into the third spot. And indeed, another car's got through as well, I think. Let's stack them and pack them when they come back around. Gaffera, Jeffers, no Schrag holding on to third. Masella fourth. Fakuri in fifth. 6 is Martella. 7th, Argyros. Make Cameron 7th. Argyros 8th. Lionel 9th. Beswick able to get by Cooley and Garzone on that lap. Eddie Beswick up into 10th.
Masella was able to get around Fakuri just before the yellow, and Fakuri trying to repay the favor here.
So coming through the keyhole once again. Back at it. Able to get through the first lap clean. Couple of drivers making some overtakes. Jeffers by Schrag. And as we said a little bit further back as well, Beswick able to get by both Garzone and Cooley on the restart. Let's see what happens here for Teddy Masella. Does he have anything for his teammate? I thought he was going to be able to get the pass done. John, you know this, coming up turn 5, you really have to be around almost, you got to be half a car in front to beat them down the hill, because you're going to be on the inside. They're on power before you are. It's tough to get the pass done unless you're significantly in front at the top of the hill.
Exactly right. Yeah, if you're side by side at the top of the hill, you're most likely not going to be able to complete that pass unless you can really stuff it in, coming down into turn 6.
Front 2 drivers pulling away a bit here in Gaffera and Jeffers. Schrag third, Masella fourth, Fakuri fifth. Caleb Gaffera looking to get his first win. One podium on the season so far. He was third at St. Petersburg. He's had a couple of rough races. 16th, 4th, and 7th at NOLA. 5th and 15th at Indianapolis, 4th on the oval, 13th and 6th at Road America. So again, it's been one of those kind of up and down, 17th and 4th were the races that he had at Road America. So again, right there, one was an issue, one, of course, up into the top 5. Oh, big wide run there for one of the drivers coming through turn number 2. Yeah, Caleb Gaffera, like you said, he's been consistent essentially in the top 10. A couple of them outside the top 10, 18th, 16th, and 17th. Just those races are the ones that have hurt him, man. Add another 15, 20 points if he's finishing in the top 10 instead. And instead of being down in 7th, he's going to probably be up in 4th. So this could be a big one here for Caleb Gaffera, though. Can he take it to the end? We're only at the halfway point now. 10 laps down, 10 to go. So a long way to go in this one still. They are pulling away. They've got a full second. Jeffers does on Schrag. Gaffera by 6/10 on Jeffers. Jeffers still with the fast lap of the race. In fact, was quicker by 1/10 of a second last time by. Jeffers had to essentially give up 2 spots, a 2-position penalty for not giving enough room for Thomas Schrag on that pass down in turn number 5. Contact sent Schrag off. Gaffera able to get about 600ths on Jeffers this time as they're pulling away a bit. Let's talk about the drivers. I said that we were trying to move forward. Eddie Beswick is up into 10th spot. Last time by, he lost some ground over a second back to a Lionel. Cooley was able to get by Garzone to move Evan Cooley now up into 11th. Ayrton Hauk able to get by both Mishko and Boshoff. This last time by, he lost a couple of tenths to Carell, but he's only a half second back. So that is Hauk in the middle of that battle at the tail. There's a bunch of drivers from Beswick on back. I want to say 10th back to, essentially 10th back to 16th. This field here, this run right here, the drivers at the tail. Key right now is getting settled back in because we're only just past the halfway point.
Anthony Martella looking racy as he's right on the back of Lucas Fakuri, trying to take over that 5th spot from the Brazilian.
Martella comes in 8th place in points. Again, we talked about the fact he had the win on the oval, but 13th and 6th at Road America. Their results are starting to come for Anthony Martella. Again, like Matt Clark in the USF Pro 2000 category, he's looking forward to that race in a couple of weeks' time in Toronto. his home race. Again, the drivers settling in here for the mid part of this race. Gafera's lead was 0.6 of a second last time by. They're definitely pulling away up front. I love watching lap times to see what splits we have here. 22.5 for both drivers. Jeffers about 100th or 200ths quicker, so they are both fast. They gained 0.4 of a second on Thomas Schrag that last time. He lost 0.3 to his teammate. Thomas Schrag is going to have a fight here from Teddy Musella because Musella's still thinking championship. He's third. He has to beat his teammate here. You do not want to let your teammate pull away, especially setting the tone for the first race of a triple header. That's one thing we haven't talked about, John. When you have a triple header like this, you can build momentum for your team, you can build confidence in yourself, but also you can set the tone within the team dynamic as well. Musella wants to say, hey, yeah, Thomas, you're my teammate. Yeah, I get it. You're leading the points. But I'm the most recent winner, buddy. We're going to have to battle this one out together.
Yeah, yep, exactly right.
Let's see what happens. Jeffers most definitely closing on Caleb Gafera. And there's that battle for second, third, or rather third and fourth. Fifth and sixth right there as well for Curie and Martella. John has mentioned how quick Martella has looked. 23 flat for him. Top five drivers all now down into the 22s. 9s, the leader's doing 5s. So Martella better get up on his horse and find another gear because he's a little bit more right now. Yeah, he's in fact getting closed a little bit here by Christian Cameron behind him as well. But one of the issues with this racetrack in these race cars, when they are to a certain extent aero dependent at some level, more when you get the higher up into the pro car, because of some of the long duration corners here, whether it be the keyhole, whether it be coming through 8 and 9 or the carousel, you're going to get that aero wash, which is when you get underneath the car in front of you, you don't have the wing, the air flowing over that wing in front, and it doesn't give you that downforce. So you got to put more wheel and you got to wait, and you start getting that mid corner understeer pushes through the corner. That happens at this racetrack a lot. It doesn't have the super long straightaways. The one you have to get it done at is here, but you get the aero wash and keyhole that you're not able to get out of the corner as fast. So this is a place you have to really fight for an overtake, especially later in the race.
And probably more so for these drivers than it is for the juniors drivers because they don't have quite as much downforce. And the more downforce the car has, the more that aero wash affects the car trailing. So.
Gafera, Jeffers, Schrag, Musella, Curie, still top 5. Let's see what kind of battles we have on the racetrack now. I think the biggest one might be Garzone trying to come back on Cooley. They're only separated by a couple of hundredths of a second, a couple tenths of a second in the last lap, but not really much of a battle as of yet. Most of the cars have streamed out here. We're getting into that area where we're midway through. We got drivers with 3, 4, 5 car lengths between each of them all the way through the field. You see as they cycle through, no one's up on anybody's gearbox right now. This is where you deal with a little bit of aero wash. Some of the times you just keep the pressure on, John, to try to force the driver in front of you to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Drop a wheel somewhere. This track is so technically challenging that it doesn't take much to go a little too much through turn number 1. Maybe you miss the apex by a little, the turn in, and all of a sudden you're out on the gravel or on the the outside of the exit curbing. It does not take much to make a mistake here either, coming out of turn number 2.
Garzon and Cooley running close together. I noticed that as they came by for 11th and 12th. Cooley got his hands full as Sebastian Garzon right behind him in the 12 car.
Let's see what happens here. Caleb Gafera looking for that first victory. Majority of the family for Gafera here this weekend. Mom Jacqueline back home, no doubt about it. She's watching the broadcast here. Everybody pushing hard. 14 laps down. 6 laps still to go. It'll be 5 to go when they come back around. This is what it's all about. These drivers pushing as hard as they possibly can. Let's see what we have coming across the line. Does Gafera gap him a bit at 0.8 of a second on the last time by? 22 flat to a 22.1. Call it 0.9. Almost a full second now for Caleb Gafera. Trying to pull away here. Lots of friends and family back home in North Carolina watching this right now. Gafera trying to get that first win. He had a very busy week, John, up in Wisconsin. Let me throw that out here as we've got 5 to go. The Route 66 Sprint Series, a major karting regional series, raced at Road America at the Briggs & Stratton Motorplex the week before we were there for IndyCar. Caleb Gafera was running in that event. the track itself, the Road America Karting Club, had a Tuesday night race. Caleb drove in that one. And then the weekend, he, of course, raced in USF 2000. The following weekend, at the Briggs & Stratton Motorplex, was the United States Pro Kart Series event, which is a massive series. Caleb was in the fight there for race wins. He was essentially there for essentially 3 weekends, going nonstop racing at Road America and the kart track there as well. So I was talking to him on the pre-grid yesterday, and he was really looking forward to a weekend off.
I can imagine.
Yeah. He had actually an opportunity to race again next weekend, but said, listen, I need some downtime. I got to decompress. Hey, a way to decompress will be coming away with a win here right now. Definitely make things different moving in for the rest of the weekend. 16 laps in now. Gafara's lead, is it over a second? He did a 21.8 to a 22.1 indeed. 1.1 seconds, almost 1.2. Caleb Gafara looking to grab that first win. And John, one of the things about a lot of the drivers that you'll see coming into the ranks through juniors, through 2000, is the fact that they're top-level kart racers. And you go back a couple of years, in the junior categories, Caleb Gafara was the top junior driver in North America all year long. Won all the big races other than the very last race of the year because of a Ben Axel. He knows how to win.
Yep.
And again, when you give a driver like this the lead with a gap of 1 second, they go on autopilot. You know, they may be young, but they can go on autopilot like they have racing karts since they were, 8, 9 years of age. And this is a cool story that we're always going to be able to follow coming up the ranks. In those early years of karting for Caleb Gafara, it was he and Max Garcia. I'm talking 7 years of age running in the micro categories, then the mini, then the junior. They were head-to-head. Of course, Max now up into the USF Pro 2000 class. They both run for the Pabst Racing team, but these are two drivers that fought each other for years in karting. So they know how to win, I'll tell you that for sure. I'm being told that actually Caleb's mom is on the chat right now watching on the YouTube channel. So shout out to Jacqueline Gafara. I know the Gafara family is here. Dad Chuck is here as well. So looking for their first victory here in the USF 2000 program. Gafara out by 1.4 seconds. He's got the gap now. Jeffers does not have the draft. He's 1.7 seconds up on Thomas Schrag. Musella still runs in fourth. Fakuri fifth. No real big moves. Everybody kind of just settling in right now from where they have been for the last couple of laps.
Martella on Fakuri is probably the closest battle on the racetrack. It's about 3/10 right now, so that's the battle for fifth.
He was quicker by over a tenth, John.
Yep, so that's still doable for Anthony Martella.
Martella started ninth. He's currently running sixth, so solid run for him so far. Fakuri looking to have another top five here. Lucas Fakuri, again, watching where he is 13th place in points. Like I said, a really tough start to the season, but things turned around at Road America, John. He ended up finishing in 5th and 8th in those two races there. It probably could have been higher up. Looking to try to keep this run going for Lucas Fakuri, currently, as we said, running here in the P5 position. It'll be 2 to go this next time by. Gafara P1, Jeffers P2. I feel like I'm calling a junior karting race from a number of years ago. So many of them, Teddy Musella, Thomas Schrag, all of these drivers, Martella, Cameron, Argyros. That's what we see with the success coming out of top-level American karting. Musella keeps pushing as well. Schrag gets it down to 1.5 seconds. Musella was actually quicker than Schrag by over a tenth that last time by. He's 6/10 of a second back. I don't know that we're going to see anything for the battle for the final spot on the podium. Oh, you can't see it here. I saw it go by us, and we may have drivers off. Somebody went off coming turn one. That was, I believe, the battle between Vian Bossoff and Von Mishko. Mishko went to the inside of the racetrack and to try to get by. One of those drivers, I believe, went all the way off the outside of the racetrack there. So a little dust up in turn number one here on the penultimate lap.
Coming to the white flag, and there's a battle on for third as Teddy Musella is right on the back of Thomas Schrag.
There it is there, coming down the hill, guys. John picked it up for another battle for the back behind them, too. Look at that, for the 5th and 6th spot. That's
Fakuri and Martella.
The Fakuri Martella battle. It's waging the entire race long. But what do you do on the final circuit? Can you push? Can you force that mistake? Musella knows he does not want Schrag to get ahead, because Musella's back by a lot more. He's back by 36 points. He'd like to get a handful back, 2 or 3, 4, 5 points back. Musella with the fast lap of the race right now. It's good. Schrag got the bonus point for, as we know, for the fast lap of the race.
Final lap. White flag's in the air.
So this is it. Caleb Gaffera looking to become the sixth different winner on the season. 5 victories for Liam McNeely, 2 for Schrag, 1 for Jeffers, 1 for Masella, 1 for Martella. Gaffera could be the 6th winner on the season. And you look at the teams as well. It'll be the first Pabst Racing win. Jay Howard, VRD, exclusive, and exclusive. So this will be the first win. Look at this fight further back here as well.
That's Martella.
That's Martella.
Yeah,
that's going to be the
Fakuri.
scrap for 5th. Fakuri trying to hold off Martella. Hold this shot here as they come down in. Look at Martella's going to try to run the outside. Fakuri doesn't want to give it up, and he doesn't. Martella tries to go in, and Fakuri held the spot. Yeah, you can't turn in if he's not going to give it to you. When you're on the outside, that's tough. Martella went for it, though. I like that. You got to be a little further along, though, side there, because that driver, of course, is looking through the corner. Gaffera, though, out of turn number 9 through turn 10. A lot of firsts in the season for all these young drivers in the USF Pro Championships. But this will be the first one for the young driver out of North Carolina. The first of 3 races for USF 2000 here at Mid-Ohio belongs to Caleb Gaffera. Gaffera wins his first in USF 2000. The margin of victory, 1.6 seconds. Make it 2 at the line. He dropped the hammer. I think Jeffers might have took care of the car over the last little bit. He backed off a little bit. So did Gaffera, but 2.058 seconds is the margin of victory for Caleb Gaffera, his first win. Also led 13 laps. So bonus point there as well. So bonus point for Gaffera for the most laps led. Fast lap goes to Masella. Bonus point for pole to Schrag. So 31 points there for Caleb Gaffera. Jack Jeffers coming home in second. Thomas Schrag in third. Jeffers did what he needed to do.
Yep.
And that was finish in front of the driver. You're closing in on the points. So both Gaffera and Jeffers are going to gain some ground on Thomas Schrag. Teddy Masella came up just short, finishing 4th. Lucas Fakuri in the 5th spot. Christian Cameron in 6th. Anthony Martella 7th. G3 Argyros in 8th. Joshua Leonel in 9th. And Eddie Beswick rounding out the top 10. Evan Cooley up to 11th. Sebastian Garzone 12th. Ayrton Hout 13th. Vaughn Mishko in 14th. Timothy Carell 15th. And I think V.M. Bossoff was the driver. Not surprising, went off on the outside of turn 1 because Mishko got a great run, threw it to the inside of turn 1. And I think Bossoff might have tried to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Whether there was contact or not, Bossoff went 4-wheeling on the outside of turn number 1. Always great to have a first-time winner. Caleb Gaffera, like I said, this could start something big, thinking about what we're doing for the remainder of the weekend. Gaffera, who was 7th place in points coming in, he was 14 points behind Evan Cooley. He's going to gain those for sure. In fact, he's going to jump over Liam McNeely as well. Gaffera could go to P5 in the championship with this win. All right, down to victory lane. We're going to cap off the day's action here in the USF Pro Championships.
Thanks, Rob. Rob will make his way down to the podium to talk to our top 3 finishers as we'll wrap it up here. If you're looking to get your autograph of your favorite IndyCar driver, you've still got about 20 minutes left. Is that autograph session scheduled to go until 3 o'clock? So still a little time left. If you're here at the facility, head over to the fan zone. Again, just look for the inflatable Firestone Firehawk, and that's where the autograph session is getting queued up. And they've been going for just about a half an hour now, so just about a half an hour left. As Caleb Gaffera getting his helmet off. Nothing like a first win to put a little spring in your step. As Caleb getting ready to climb out of that race car. And he's going to celebrate. You betcha, bud. Well done, Caleb. Great job. As he gets congratulations from his Pabst Racing teammates. Taking his first win on the campaign. And only his second podium. So well done. Jack Jeffers coming home in 2nd spot. Also closing the gap on Thomas Schrag. Schrag will finish in 3rd, giving up a little bit of ground to those 2 drivers. Teddy Musella, a race-long battle with Lucas Fakuri. Had a challenge at the end on Thomas Schrag, but couldn't quite make it happen. Christian Cameron making a pass on the final lap, getting around Anthony Martella to move up into that 6th spot. So Martella comes home in 7th, G3 Argyros in 8th. Allenell in 9th, and Beswick rounding out the top 10. Good recovery drive from Beswick, starting back in 13th position. This will be our final USF session of the morning as we are getting ready for Indy Next, as they will be next out on track. Scheduled to take the track at 3:05. That's about a half an hour from now. And that will be for the first practice session for the Indy Next drivers. And then the NTT IndyCar Series drivers right after them at 4:35 for our final on-track activity of the day. Again, the IndyCar Radio Network will be bringing us coverage of both of those sessions coming up here in just about 30 minutes, a little less. Looking at the schedule tomorrow, Indy Next practice number 2, first thing out of the box at 8:35. As it sounds like Rob Howden's ready for our podium interviews. Rob, take it away.
The fight on the line for that scholarship to move to USF Pro 2000 next season. Again, all part of this PFC Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. Let's grab the driver coming home in third spot today for VRD Racing, Thomas Schrag. P3 for Thomas for VRD Racing will maintain the lead going into the second race of the weekend tomorrow. Of course, they're back Sunday morning as well. Finishing in second spot, gaining valuable points in the championship from Exclusive Autosport, Jack Jeffers. And folks, always great to celebrate the first win of a young driver in our USF Pro Championships program. It's his first victory here. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Pabst Racing. The victor today, Caleb Gaffera. I know it's your first time on the podium with me, buddy. You stay down here with me. Hey, first, congratulations. Just tell me about the emotions of getting the first win.
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough for giving me the race car to do it. I mean, we just we came in a little bit later in the session, and I was like, all right, right when that yellow came out, I was like, I think the car's coming in right now. And when I got to start in the front for the restart, I was like, all right, I think we can get away.
The car got faster and faster as well. You kind of were able to pull away. Jack stuck with you there for a bit, but at the end, that car started to come alive.
Yeah, I just started pushing a little bit more. I was like, let's keep it fast, but not over it. So,
you know, there's been times in every driver's career where you get that first win. You did it in karting. When you got that first win, they kept coming. What does this do for your confidence for the rest of the weekend?
I mean, it's amazing. Let's just keep it going for the weekend.
Who do you want to thank today?
Augie Paps, my mom and dad, Circle K, everyone that supports me, and Miles, my mechanic, for just getting this thing dialed.
Get up on top of that podium. For the first time here in his USF 2000 career, Caleb Gaffera, the winner here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Hardcore racing up front for these young drivers. You saw how much they went at it. Teddy Basella was closing up on his teammate Thomas Schrag at the end there. That was almost a battle for the final step on the podium. But these guys went at it, and you could tell that they're thinking about being in a championship fight when they get to Portland at the end of this season. A lot of money up for grabs, as we know, folks. Just over $400,000 for the drivers moving into USF Pro 2000, the scholarship to follow in the footsteps of drivers like Kyle Kirkwood, Arenas VK, who all won championships. Christian Rasmussen as well, of course. They've won here as well at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. But for Caleb Gaffera to get himself back very likely into fifth place in points here. He's got a lot of markers there. I think he's going to at least be able to jump over Liam McNeely and potentially Evan Cooley. So Gaffera may go to P5 in points here with a fantastic run. His first victory, of course, of his young career. Lots of wins, as we know, in the karting program. But to get that first win here in the USF Pro Championships, always taking a huge weight off the shoulders of any of these young drivers. They want that first win so badly. Sometimes it clouds the judgment. When you get that win in decisive fashion, as Caleb here today, man, you take that and you grab that momentum and run with it. So the junior drivers have their first race in the books. 3 on the weekend here for USF 2000. We'll see the USF Pro 2000 drivers on for 2 races tomorrow on Saturday. But again, a very crucial turning point weekend here for Mid-Ohio for the drivers in USF 2000 with 3 races. Pabst Racing, if we can get this car out of the way, unless you want it covered in sparkling cider. So drivers coming up, we will present them with some age-appropriate sparkling beverage. They'll drop their hats, get the correct hat on, guys. Trophies down, guys. Hats on, trophies down. It's time to spray the bubbly. Grab a hold of it, folks. Let's grip it and rip it. Let's celebrate the first win for USF 2000 for Caleb Gaffera. Big victory for Caleb. Second spot for Jack, third for Thomas. We got ourselves a battle on our hands. Those of you around the racetrack and who watched at home on the YouTube channel, thank you so much for being with us for the last almost 7 hours. We've had practice, we've had qualifying. 2 races of the 7 on the weekend are in the books now. We thank you so much for having you along for the ride here on a beautiful Friday at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. 86 degrees, gorgeous here this afternoon. And again, we cap off the day by celebrating the success of the young driver from North Carolina, Caleb Gaffera, winning his first race in USF 2000. That caps things off. Again, folks, on behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, we'll see you tomorrow. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.
Celebrate